Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us once again. My name is always Binobalungile Ngofe. I'm a power-packed professional motivational speaker, and it's always an honor to have you here with us today. Today, we are at a place called IMHO MEC in Bloemfontein. If you are interested in the world of mechanics, today's interview is really going to be up your alley. We are rolling up our sleeves and we are really getting into the thick of things. So if that's something that intrigues you, definitely today you're really going to enjoy this episode. So we're speaking to a young man who has started this business from scratch, and we are going to hear what the challenges that he's experienced, some of the success stories. In the short period that I've been here, I've seen such a diverse team that is working behind this man. So this is one episode that you don't want to miss. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm so excited. I always get this excitement, this exciting feeling when I'm in Bloemfontein. So today is one of those episodes that's very exciting and it hits home for me. We are speaking to a young black man who's started his own business here in Bloemfontein. I'm quite intrigued to get to know him, to get to know the business, to get to understand what incorporates and what formed, this backbone and this business that he's decided to take on and to start from scratch. So my name has always been Binobalungile Ngofe. I'm a power-packed professional motivational speaker, and it's an honor to have you here with us today. This is another episode of Motivation Reimagined, and if motivation is something that you need, this is the place for you to be. So without any further ado, let me give our guest here today an opportunity to just introduce himself to you, and then we'll take it from there. My brother, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, and you, Mr. Balungile?
Thank you so much for joining us. My brother, please take us through, give us a brief overview of who you are, where you grew up, and how life was when you grew up.
Yeah, well, my name is Itumeleng Moholo. Commonly known as Diesel, Mo Bloemfontein.
Yeah.
Now I'm from Tabanchu. I was born and bred in Tabanchu. Ke tsene sekolo teng, ke kgoletse teng, and then I came to Bloemfontein after matric to come and do motor mechanics.
Got you.
Go FET college. Then that's when life started. I studied motor mechanics and diesel trade theory, and after that went to Blackstop. That's where my father stayed. May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace to him.
I went to do my final year, which is a national certificate. Go FET college, Vusilela FET college. Then as soon as I complete national certificate, then I got an opportunity. I was recruited in Bloemfontein.
Got you.
Yeah, so that's basically that.
So that's your history. So it means there's importance in really studying when it comes to mechanics. How difficult was it to study the world of mechanics and how things work?
Well, it is challenging. It's actually a job that it's only artisanal work, and there's no need to learn basics. There's no need to learn mathematics, science, of which those are actually the foundation, the basics, because I realize we've got very talented young men and women locally, but that's where they miss the point. They need to go through first the foundation, which is learning the parameters through mathematics and science. And that's basically that, because that's actually what I've noticed with most of the people that I went through training with, through school with, in terms of FET, through work experience at the dealerships, Mercedes-Benz dealerships. They would excel, but they would plateau. I don't know whether it's the right word. They would very soon get to a point of no excellence or no.
You can't go further.
You can't go further because there isn't enough place or there isn't enough space or place to go and refer. To further impress your employer or to impress whoever you are working with in terms if you've got maybe mentor how like most of them they would end up just general work. So that's the one part mainly more IMHO MERC service workshop. We focus entirely on mathematics, science, which is the main foundation.
Mathematics and science.
Yes.
Yes. If you don't have those, do you have a project whereby you are mentoring? Because when I came, in fact, let me mention this. When I came in, I saw young people who were here, also ready, willing, but already screwdriver and doing something. What's the importance of having those young people here and also learning from you?
Well, it's actually exciting to work with young people because they are easy to influence, they are easy to teach, and most of them now had gotten through most of the subjects it's required to become an artisan, like a technician. They now call them technicians. We no longer call them mechanics. Individual mechanic would be associated with grease, monkey, and people would not find it very exciting or very it has gotten to a level now where things are very much automated. So we take these ones that are fresh from school because they are more into digitals. They learn easy because now cars are more digital than mechanical. So we prefer to have young people more than we would with batwa by the same age older than Rona. It's very difficult to change converter in a sense, if that's the right word.
But I like what he's saying, and this is for me and for everyone watching today, to say we are no longer saying people are mechanics. Please don't go out and call people mechanics. That word is no longer used. We are calling them technicians. And it's professionalized and it's something very professional, because I like what he's saying. He's saying that in the olden days, because of the debt and how we associated mechanics with, when you think of a mechanic, overall, people with debt working under the cars. Nowadays, they're called technicians. So it's professionalized. So take me through. So once you finished with school, you went to a dealership and started working there. How important was that for you to go and get that experience?
Well, entirely. I'd like to think it's nicer for artisans or people that are fresh from school to be exposed to places like dealerships, because there's full infrastructure, there's resources. Unlike somebody that starts to work on cars, it's okay to start learning to work on cars, qualification, but you do need at some point exposure, the resources and the resources mainly because we no longer work on 1985 cars. They are extinct. They are no longer on the roads. It's only cars that are recent and it's
new
things.
Cars.
And you'll realize somebody that I went to school with, FET College, there would be a huge gap compared to Batlabo Baba, maybe Baberekile through local workshops in the location.
Oh, you mean when you compare the two?
Yes. As compared to working for a dealership or working for a setup that is professional. It's easier to build or to have a technician that is on point, preferably choko dealership as compared to how much I tutile choko location, because VENEC also into a player a huge role. I understand, because you learn collocationing, you learn like at the dealership level, you learn to pronounce parts properly. You learn to write job cards. You learn to diagnose. And when you come from a place where VENEC was only the solution or only the language of preference, then you find it difficult, very difficult to diagnose work for yourself, to carry out duties by yourself. You'd find somebody that's very experienced a fiwa mmereko e leng gore kwa junior staff.
Yeah.
Ha ba khone go mo entrustela more work because they can't transit into a transition by school transition or tap into more responsibility. Only as a result hela ya gore they cannot comprehend when a job is offered to them in terms of in a form of job cut, or there's a diagnostic report that must be written, or there's a diagnostic machine that must be installed to determine what the problem may be.
In
so
the car,
there's a very huge, that's the decider mainly. Most mechanics.
Yeah. You are talking about VNEC. So in the world of mechanics, one would understand, or maybe you've got your own language that you use for certain equipment, from reading a diagnostic report and understanding what is needed, etc. If you don't understand that language, that's where most people get lost. Is that what you say?
That's correct. You'd find now we've got new appointees, or I don't know whether should I say appointees, which is 2 ladies.
Okay, to come and work.
Come and work as my intern. We teach them to fix cars. So you'd find it very difficult to tell somebody that there's a 3/8 spanner, or there's a 1/4 inch. This is a tire lever. This is a rubber mallet. Like you'd find.
I'm lost.
So you'd find qualificationing where it's qualificationing, you'd find somebody saying I want engine mountains instead of saying engine mountings. You'd find someone saying instead of saying prop shaft, they would say prop shaft. Understand? We find it a lot when there's a report that must be written. We have to take over. Those that had gotten an opportunity to work properly, the right words, the right language. Unfortunately, English being the only language. Yes.
Which is something that we need to look at, my brother, at the end of the day. I think there's a lot of talent that is lost because of language. I think we've used English as a standard intelligence for a long time. And we are losing that. We need to get to a point where we can translate mechanics into Setswana, into Sotho, and all the other Nguni languages, which for me is very important. What's your view on that, though?
Well, I strongly believe that's true, because we even have somebody that comes through Waratusa part-time, an elderly man at around, let's say he's 55. He can't write and speak English. But he is so brilliant. He learned the trade throughout the years, but he cannot, like I've been saying, it's so difficult for his transition now to become a qualified technician. So only as a result, he can't write and he can't speak English. Well, there are oral examinations, or there are trade tests in place for people that can't write. But if whoever is an instructor can only speak Afrikaans and English, then unfortunately there's someone that will never understand the instruction when it comes to being tested at the training center.
That's true.
So it's highly important for actually that's what we do as well at the workshops. We try to speak to one another in languages that are easily to be comprehended. Like we prefer to speak vernacular, which is our mother tongue. But obviously when it's things that can not easily be translated, then we prefer, we revert back to
the English.
Yes.
Look, and now I don't want to push the point too much, but I think it's time for young men as you, who understand the trade, who've been doing this for some time, to start changing things now. Because kinako ya rona. But what I also want to ask is, from school then, we've spoken about maybe the transition of going to dealerships before you come into your own business. So speak to me when you started this business, what went through your mind? What pushed you?
Well, I think at first, I think for me it was, I had to win on my own first. I had to impress all the time. That's how I felt, that if I learned a trade or a skill, I'll have to be the first one to show it to other people. Like I've always wanted to be the one to be selected if there's something new to be introduced to the workshop. So when I went to the dealership straight from school, but the intention has always been to impress the person that I worked with, which is my journeyman. Yeah. So the aim at the time was the only person that can make it easy for me to understand everything throughout is my journeyman. So now I decided,
is that another word for mentor?
Journeyman? Yes, journeyman, mentor. Yes.
Yeah.
So well, that's mainly what made me become what I am, because I always had the zeal to impress.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to think that most of us as young people, we need to have the desire. We need to have the desire to impress all the time, and that's the only time you can keep on pushing, because it feels nice to be congratulated all the time.
Yes. The question that I wanted to ask was, now we've moved from you going to school and looking at dealership. Let's look at how you started the business. Why? What pushed you to start the business, and why did you want to stand on your own?
Well, mainly the reason was, for me, there were a lot of fears for us, especially for clientele base, black people, or they needed. It felt to me that it's only fair for us to have black-owned dealerships or workshops, because we can understand one another easier when it comes to affordability, when it comes to transparency, because there has been a notion, or there has been a tendency throughout the years that motor retail is corrupt, there's no transparency, mainly because it is run by people who've got many years in the industry. So I wanted to change that narrative. Only white people can have service workshops, and only white people can decide whether to give a discount or not. Only white people can decide if they want to work on your car. We do get that a lot. Somebody that needs help, and like seriously, then because the car is not in a very good condition, they would be chased away. You toss around to all these workshops and nobody would help out. So we wanted to close. Now mainly it was, I wanted to kwala GPU. Affordability mainly, which is the first one. Black people deserve, people deserve to have the service providers. It's about feeling really customized for their needs.
For their needs, yes.
I understand.
Yes. And the biggest issue for Rona, once you bring your car, it goes to the back, you are overcharged, and you never get to know why.
That's I like that one, because that's actually what we normally talk about. We explain a quotation more thorough than most of the workshops. We make sure that whatever amount, that big amount that you are paying, you understand where all the small components are coming from. So, which is the one part that I also noticed when I was at the dealership and also at other service workshops that I worked for. People would become so frustrated to having to pay for certain quotations. They did not even themselves understand. So mainly we try to explain thoroughly. Okay, here's the problem, and we even give options, even if it means to encourage, this is no longer a worthwhile decision. Rather sell the car and disassemble it for space, or start budgeting for another car. So you do not get that from a lot of workshops. They would allow you to keep on spending on something that it's actually not
that worth they know. They know very well.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes. So
sure, that's quite interesting. And I've got, I don't want to ask too many questions. Maybe allow me 3 more that I'm interested in knowing. There's a lot of women who are here that I saw working on the cars. When I came in here, there was a lady, the car was jacked up, and she had a big wheel. She's trying to put it onto a car, and I was quite impressed with how it works. What was the idea of making it so diverse that it's not only men in this shop?
Well, we've come to notice, women are actually more accurate. They are I know. I think it comes from me. I think it comes from me. Like you can heavily depend on them than you can depend on their male counterparts.
Yeah.
Because they are precisionists. It's not the right way. Understand? Like it's easy to when they understand processes, they perfect them.
That part I agree with.
Yeah.
Processes when they understand and they drive it. I agree.
So hape inele fela who change this narrative it's only rona batho ba bontate ba etsang that kind of work. So hape it comes hape le ka interest, because it's useless to appoint or to elevate women only as a result
women empowerment.
It should be also
there's no merit.
Yes. So it comes up haholo like that, and mainly again I don't know. I guess that's basically that.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense, guys. If any one of you is interested in mechanics, you are a young lady, you need some advice, some internship. Maybe you're going to school and you want to understand how to study, what to study. I must push you and put you on the spot. Please do come and speak and just get some advice, because we go to school and we study and we don't know what we are studying. So I'm sure that your door is open. Can you maybe say it on your own? You must come.
No, it's actually what we've been doing because one of our employees here is my younger sister. We've been trying to recruit her for quite some time now. Only now when the year started, rejoining. But the plan all the time has been to put him through administration, which is also, as a mechanic, you need to learn costing administration. So the intention was to put her through administration, hoping to make her do a little bit of everything inside the workshop. So that's what we right now we've started the workshop. She's in the workshop. So very soon or she'll be coming through into the office to learn to cost jobs on her own. Administration as well.
Look, and I like how you've got a developmental outlook. So many people, when they teach you the job, they put you in and you must work and that's it. But now I believe in having that developmental process. For me, this is developmental, where I learn how to interview. I'm a motivational speaker. Some people might say, but why is he interviewing people? But I need to be able to speak, understand what is the problem, and motivate. So once you understand those things, once you understand, you're not just a mechanic, you need to understand the job cards, you need to understand the diagnosis, all of those things, you become a better full person.
And it's actually easier to better utilize a person in the workshop, in the workshop space, when they've tried a little bit of everything. Then we can't discredit someone based only on trying to learn to fix cars. So they can still apply what they have learned inside the workshop and apply it in the office in terms of technical advice. They can do that
over the phone.
Exactly.
My brother, that's quite interesting. That's a good point. I've got two more questions because of time as well. Speak to me about why you decided to specialize. I see there's a lot of Mercedes-Benzes here. Why the route you specialize? Is this a niche market for you, or why did you decide?
Well, I feel it's actually important to specialize, looking at the many workshops that are there. It's easier to trust somebody that works on one brand daily. They perfect that brand. It's easy. My first car was a Corolla. I took it self. I did not even work on it myself when I did not have the time. But I only took it to people that work on Toyota daily. Those people can slightly make mistakes, but when it's somebody that tries to do almost everything, they will do a lot of work on all these cars, but they will never master. So you'll always find it that someone is not successful when it comes to working on a BMW, but they would be better working on a Toyota or a Mercedes. But rather stick to one brand and perfect it. Then it runs easier. to people's ears because they know this one specializes. Understand?
What specializes?
And it's easier to learn a rare skill when you repeat something.
Yeah.
You repetition, you suddenly become the best. I can assure you. Yeah. I had to do it a lot of times before I can actually be what I am
where
today.
you are today. Wow, that's quite interesting. And I want to maybe for whoever's watching at home to say something as well to you. I heard another quote that said that it is better to measure 10 times and cut once rather than cut 10 times and measure once. Which was something that I took time to really understand, but it goes to the specialization. Taking time, doing that one thing and mastering it until you get it right. And that's what we are trying to do. Maybe in closing, what would you then say to some of the young mechanics out there, who feel maybe I don't see myself living here and owning my own business? What advice would you give them and seeing this thing as a business, one day having a big maybe a big dealership that you are owning? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say certainly for me it would be try to perfect whatever that you are doing. Like when we look at a car holistically, you've got a tire and all the rest of the parts. Yes. You don't have to be physically working on the car, but you can still be supplying me or be my service provider. You can service me with something regarding the whole car. Yes. So when it doesn't even matter where you are, when you do it right, then people will go and look for you wherever you are. So I always notice that people that work from home, mechanics, technician specifically, they do not regard cleanliness, professionalism, time, articulation, conduct, your conduct while you are still at home, working from home, because you are not paying rent. It's cheaper to grow yourself. To grow yourself when you are not paying a lot of rent. Rather do it right from first time. Price right from the first time. Then people will see that, okay, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where he's working from, but this one is professional. We can always go back to him. So I would say, for me, professionalism. Professionalism, it doesn't require you to like, I don't know, if you are professional, you do things the right way, people will always find their way back to you. Yes.
And that's quite interesting. I think that's a business model that you can adopt. Professionalism, it's something that we can all go home and really do an introspection. Are you really professional in the work that you do? Are you here on time when someone has said 2 o'clock and when the car is not done at 2 o'clock? Those small things are very, very crucial and important. I'm so happy that I came to see you, my brother. Each and every time when I sit with someone, I learn something new. And professionalism is something that I can take. I was speaking with my friend the other day and he was saying, when you open a business, location. And I agree with what my brother is saying. It's not about location. Guys, even if you can be in the deepest dark, people will find you. Once you are professional, once you are really, you've mastered and taken time to understand your craft, people will find you. If there's no way to get to you, people will make a way. People will make a way to come and see you. And those are the things that we've learned here today. I'm really inspired. Maybe I'll give my chief to say a word or two before we close. And then we can close off and we can also hear where we can find him, where we can find his business and how we can support him. Maybe a few words from you before we close?
Yeah. On the same point that you are talking about, I remember when I was, just after I left the dealerships, people would still find their way to go to me in Tabanchu. They would go there and the question would be, this is the very same tools that they are using at the dealership. Then I said to them, unfortunately, this is the only way of doing it. You have to do it right. So get the right tools and make sure that even if you are working from home, don't pile up cars in the yard and it's unnecessary. Don't. to be a mechanic,
You must have cars outside.
No. When there's a lot of cars, then it means there's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Why?
My father used to say that as well. To say, "Hey, Adi koloi you must know there are issues here." Yeah. No, it's quite interesting. My brother, thank you so much for sitting with us. I did speak to one of the gentleman who's working here with you.
Yes.
He did say he's going to share with us where we can find you, where we can find the business, where we can find all of those, so that those who are interested can just check and then they can come and see you.
Yes.
But from my side, thank you so much for joining us once again. There's a lot that we can learn. I like that we started this conversation about speaking about school, having a strong foundation. In the olden days, our people didn't get an opportunity to go to school. Today, there's importance in going to school. Understand the language, understand the professionalism, understand there's so much that you can understand just by going to school. And then from then onwards, you have to understand the craft and trying each and every day to perfect the craft. I'm quite happy that I came because we are not in the same group, but at least today I learned something that I can also use in my own trade, which is professionalism. So from my side, thank you so much for joining us once again. This is Motivation Reimagined. I hope that we can come back at a future stage to come and have another episode of this conversation. There's a lot that we can talk about as well, but we can hear from you guys. If it's something that is interesting to you, please leave your comments in the comment section, and then we'll come back and revisit. But from my side, thank you so much for joining us once again. Please do have a lovely holidays. I do see that the holidays are up and coming, so please be safe until we see each other again next year. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Service workshop, currently only in Bloemfontein, 87 Watkie Street, Oranje. Le di platform tsa social re teng, admin o ka re kry-a mo admin, which is admin at IMHO MERC Service Workshop, and info at IMHO MERC Service Workshop. Nomoro ya rona ke 051 011 2279.